Hello, this is the recording for the Week 9 C++ program, and I'm going to go ahead and get into it and explain every part of this code. So, I was asked to build a 5-inning baseball lineup and fielding chart for 12 players. I'll explain how we store players, how we choose positions, and then how the final table is printed. First, we have a bunch of the standard headers. We have algorithm, array, input, output, stream, limits, numeric, string, vector, etc. All those right there. Then we have the player struct, which is how the player is going to be represented in the program. We have the name as a string that stores the player's name. We have the average as a double, so we can put in the batting average. We have an array under it to hold the position for each of the 5 innings. We have the set used, which tracks position this player has already played in earlier innings, so we can avoid repeats as much as possible. Then we have a Boolean used right here, which records whether they've already played catcher at least once, so nobody has to catch multiple innings. And then we have the infield count as an integer that counts how many times this player has been in an infield position. After that, we have some constants, which, n equals 12 is the number of players, n is the innings, 5 innings, and then we have two base vectors of positions. We have the info, which is the list of the 6 infield positions, pitcher, catcher, first, second, third, and shortstop. OFO, outfield, is the 3 outfield positions, left, center, and right. And then we'll take the base list and rotate them each inning to give variety in which specific infield or outfield spot someone plays in. After that, we have the helper functions, which take a vector strings and an integer and then returns a rotated copy. Inside we copy the vector, reduce the size, and then use the rotate to shift the elements. We also have backtrack helpers, which would be the can play, the apply, and the undo. Can play, it takes the player in a position string and checks the use set and then returns false if the player has already played that position. It also blocks catcher if they've already been catcher. Apply applies a choice. It inserts the position into the use set, saves the old used value into the previous value, and then updates used again if the position is a catcher, and then increments it in the infield count. The undo reverses that, it removes the position from the set and restores it, and de-increments the infield count. After we have the assign infield rec, which is the main backtracking routine that decides who plays which of the 6 infield positions. Here, let me make this smaller. We have some parameters here, which is the IDX, which tells us the 6 slots we're currently filling. Infield position, INF POS, which is the ordered list and the infield positions for this inning. We have the whoat, which is a vector of player IDs we're having, and then P is the vector of all the player objects. If the IDX reaches 6, then we've assigned all the 6 infield spots, so we return true. Otherwise, for each index from the starting to 5, we swap that player into the current position, look up the player ID and the position string. Then we call the can play and see if that assignment's allowed. If it is allowed, then we call the apply position to update the player's state, and then we call the assign infield rec for the next position. If it succeeds, then we change it to true, and if it fails, we call the undo, swap back, and then try a different one. Yeah, that's basically how it works. Then we have the plan and inning assignments here. Sorry, the first recording just cut abruptly. I had to delete some stuff from my computer to finish the recording. But we were on the make innings assignments helper. So for a given inning, this is going to do a couple things, which is it's going to build an outset of players who are sitting out that inning based on the out IDs. It also builds available the players who are not out in batting order, and it starts the infielders list using the preferred group A or B, skipping any who are out. If we don't have any 6 infielders, then it fills the rest from the available players. And then as a safety, if we still somehow don't end up with 6, it just takes the first 6 available. Lastly, it creates the outfielders vector as the remaining available players who aren't infielders, and then returns both lists in an inning assignment struct. Next we have the assign outfield and markouts. Then we have the inning loop. So from each inning from 0 to 4, we have infield, outfield, and by rotating the infield and outfield according to the plan for that inning, we call the make innings assignments to decide who is in infield and who is in outfield. We copy the infielders into the who at and call the assign infield rec to assign the exact infield positions with the constraints. We then write those chosen positions back into the players and positions. Next, we call the assign outfield. So each outfielder gets a specific outfield position, trying to avoid duplicates. And then finally, we call markouts to label the 3 out players for that inning. Um, and then, yeah, by the end of the loop, each player has had a position or out label for all 5 of the innings. Um, Finally, for the main output, we print the game lineup and field positions. We first print a header row with name and inning 1 through inning 5 using the set W and left to align the columns. Then we loop over the player's vector in the original input order, not the batting order. And for each player, we print their name, then their position in each inning. Um, and it's all aligned nicely. After that, main returns to 0 and the program ends. That's basically the full walkthrough. Yeah, it just takes the names, averages, creates a fair batting order and rotation, and then prints a complete 5 inning fielding chart while trying to avoid as best as it can any repeated positions and overusing the catcher spot. We'll go ahead and run this then. We'll just enter a bunch of names. Whoops. Just a bunch of averages. So that's a high average, 765. Whoops. That's extremely high as well. Oh my gosh. And there's the output right there. Has the game lineup and field positions in columns, name, inning 1, inning 2, inning 3, inning 4, and inning 5. And yeah, the abbreviations for all the positions. Outfield, first base, second base, shortstop, catcher. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you.